The battle lines are already drawn. And it is now official that it is going to be the Gen Zs against William Samoei Ruto. This battle that was begun a month or so ago when Gen Zs went to the street, virtually making business in Kenya coming to a standstill. And William Ruto since then has never flown outside the country. He was a man who could only sojourn for 2 or 3 weeks in the country and then he flies abroad. In fact, people were saying that we have a visitor in the name of the president. And William Ruto said, I succumb. He gave in. He dissolved the cabinet. And since then, he has accommodated Raila's people into the government. And with that, he feels that he's very safe under the shadows of Raila Amolo Odinga. But Gen Zs are saying that nothing has changed. There is no change in litmus paper because everything that William Ruto talked about, everything that he promised when he was under pressure, he's negated everything. He dissolved the cabinet, but then he's reinstated a quarter of the members of the cabinet. Whether you talk of Soipan Tuya, Eden Duale, Davis Chirchir, Murkomen, I mean, they've been, at least for whom, they've been reinstated. When William Ruto was dissolving the cabinet, he himself admitted that the cabinet that he had before the reconstitution of the second one was corrupt. And so when he brings us the very, very names that people had complained about, people like Murkomen, you remember the story about his expensive watches and all that, he's slapping us on our face. So Gen Zs decided that NANE is the day. And though it seems, so long, it is now here with us. And people have been waiting with bated breath. Maybe perhaps you're wondering, like William Ruto seems to be wondering, that he has invited the Gen Zs to come for a roundtable talk, but they're refusing. And so he's wondering, why are people going to the streets? He's even saying that he has accommodated, Raila's people, and therefore he calls that a government of national unity. And he's asking, what more do you want? In fact, sometimes you listen to William Ruto and you feel that he's either joking or he's just not serious. He takes us for granted. Now, maybe you're wondering why these people are going to the streets, and there is no one who could have summarized it better than William Ruto's friend himself, city lawyer, Ahmed Nasir. And this is what he's saying about William Samoei Ruto that I believe is taking the Gen Zs back to the streets. Kindly listen to Ahmed Nasir.
William's government is a study in paradox. I mean, William ran one of the best campaigns ever. Yeah. He ran a first-class campaign. He bamboozled, the sitting president. He crushed him. He crushed someone of Raila's stature. Why did he do that? Because he connected with the people. He jumped off the political class and related to the people. There are many people, about 1.52 million people who voted for him, who did not vote for him because of tribal loyalty. But they thought, this is the guy who wants to change the status quo. He's bringing a revolution. When he took power, he forgot that agenda and went back to the politicians. That's the way the problem is. Either the president didn't believe in his campaign agenda or believed it but reverted back to where he was more comfortable. Yes. But that is William's problem as we speak today. Yes. The disconnect between the utopia he created during his campaign and the reality that he wanted to rule on the country. That is the disconnect. That's why so many people are disappointed with him.
So that is Ahmed Nasir trying to summarize, because you and I will agree that William Ruto has detached himself from the people. Do you remember him asking the journalist when he was told that there is a 12-year-old boy whose body was riddled with 9 bullets during the demonstrations, and he was asking that boy is still alive. And you wonder, is he alive to the fact that Kenyans are suffering? Now, ladies and gentlemen, Gen Zs are on the street, but Gen Zs have got a challenge ahead of them. Just as William Ruto himself is scared about the demonstrations because he does not know what will happen. To him, having Raila by his side with the following that Raila has, he believes that he's safe. But you never know what will happen because Gen Zs are not convinced that just by getting into an alliance with Raila Amolo Odinga is enough, because apparently there's nothing that has been solved. Whether you talk of corruption and wastage, they have reinstated, or they are planning to reinstate the budget into the first lady and second lady's office. I mean, everything has gone back to factory settings. There is no justice for those who are killed, and so they are going back to the streets. But in this video, I want to look more at the Gen Zs than I'm looking at Ruto, because we have talked about William Ruto scared about the demonstrations, but Gen Zs have got a few challenges before them. That's what I want us to look at. As we do that, allow me to request you to subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell. This will allow YouTube to notify you whenever we release a video like this. Kindly give this video thumbs up to it will go a long way in promoting the video. Thank you for your continued support. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first demonstration that Gen Zs are going to attend when Raila and Ruto are working together. This is the first demonstration they are making when Ruto has negated on his promise. He dissolved the cabinet and then gave them back the very, very cabinet, just doing some swapping here and there. Murkomen going to sports after messing up transport. Davis Chirchir going to is it trade or what? Is it to trade after messing energy, and now or P has been given. And they're attending this knowing very well that they have also been accused of being sponsored. Remember, there are several people being investigated for trying to infiltrate or sponsor Gen Z's demonstrations. And even as we speak, it is now coming out very, very, very clearly that when these things started, maybe there were people who went there very innocently because they wanted the life of Kenyans to improve. They wanted to remove William Ruto because apparently they felt that William Ruto does not listen to them. But some people somehow infiltrated them. We saw goons infiltrating, and they vandalized property, they looted supermarkets. But now we are also being informed that apart from that, there are people who went into that demonstration with an intention that they remove Ruto and then they install their man. So the challenges that the Gen Zs will have is, are they able to carry on with the demonstrations even after Raila Amolo Odinga and Ruto have started working together? Because there have been this kind of argument that since Raila joined William Ruto, they have lost numbers. Experts, some people are saying that those who belonged to Azimio, Azimio has always conducted several demonstrations in the country, and some of their members who are very tired of William Ruto had said that this time around we are going to demonstrate without Raila because they believe that Raila, at a time when he's about to reach the promised land, he will retreat, courtesy of intervention from people like Chris Coons from US, Meg Whitman. He will be called like he did, and he will always form something that looks like people are debating, and then that will be the exit strategy. So this time around, people felt without Raila, and we still have the numbers, we can go and remove William Ruto. But now there's a narrative that has been offered to them that maybe they went into a fight that was never theirs. You go to, especially most places in Nyanza, they are saying that they were hoodwinked to get into a fight that was never theirs. They feel that this was a battle between Ruto and his deputy. So, are Gen Zs able to mount a demonstration without Raila Amolo Odinga? That is it. Because in the first one, yes, they demonstrated that they could, protest without Raila. But, the narrative is most of them were paid, they were being sponsored. But right now, they have to prove that they can demonstrate without Raila because Raila has now joined William Ruto. Can they overpower that force? Can they still force William Ruto to walk out of power? Because apparently they had pressured William Ruto, push had come to shove, and William Ruto, we have been told, even was considering handing over power to the military. Are they still able to do that? Because I know there is a lot of suspicion now. Who is going to the streets? Are you going there having been paid, or you are going there as a Democrat just going to liberate your country. Will they be able to mount that pressure? That is one of the challenges. The other challenge that they must try to prove is that they are not sponsored. Because even as they do that, people are saying these people are sponsored. They wanted to remember this question, Ruto must go, then who takes over? So they must demonstrate that, for example, if William Ruto is going, are they going to install Gachagua? Or do they want both William Ruto and Gachagua to go? Do they want the whole cabinet to go? So they must demonstrate very clearly that indeed they are not being sponsored and indeed they want the whole government to go. They're talking about corruption, the government that does not listen to them, sales of public property like the airport, like our corporations. But with that, if William Ruto decides to resign now, will they still accommodate Rigathi Gachagua, or they want both William Ruto and Gachagua to go? I mean, they have to demonstrate. Do they have any link between them and Gachagua? Like it has been said, some are saying these are side shows, but the Gen Zs must demonstrate this. Number three, they must be able to demonstrate. Do they have a plan? If William Ruto or when William Ruto goes, what will they do? Because some people are saying that Gen Zs are exuberant. They are just going there, Ruto must go. But then after William Ruto, what next? Someone was saying that we'll cross that bridge when we reach it. But someone is saying no. You need to know. Otherwise, you can kick out William Ruto and then you are stranded after kicking William Ruto out. And then the military takes over. And then there is division in the military. What is their plan? That is what people are asking. And so as they get into to that demonstration, they call it the mother of all demonstrations, that they want to liberate the country. There is a lot of pressure on them to prove that they're independent. Do they have any leaders? In case they decide to kick out William Ruto, do they have someone who can be a caretaker or a caretaker government? What about the constitution? What does it say? And so several things are on their shoulders to explain, to prove, and to demonstrate. But tomorrow is here with us. It is the NANE. We wait and see whether they will still have the numbers, because majority of those who are Raila supporters, and they were also Gen Zs, will not be on the streets, especially those who subscribe to Raila's political ideologies. I don't know what you think, but that's my take.